always my walk-on song because it makes me feel so much better when I walk onto this. Who knows this song, right? Everyone knows this song. So welcome back to the people that I spoke to in the town hall, and welcome to those of you that weren't there. My name is Shareen Pathak. I'm the brands editor and actually the agency's editor at Digiday. So I cover both brands and agencies because those two things are sort of inextricably tied together. So what we do is we like to start off these things just with sort of an overview of what we're calling the state of ad agencies now. 5 of the biggest trends that we're seeing from the editorial perspective at Digiday. So our team of reporters and editors, kind of the stuff that we're covering all the time, the stuff that we're hearing you guys talk about when we're doing our reporting. So we've put this together in a rapid fire 5 things. My first one is something that actually came up already quite a bit in the town hall that we were in earlier today, the new competition. I sort of put together this thing of the top 5 agency networks. This is by US revenue. Ad Age Data Center has a lot of data around this. So I put this together based on who the top 5 were. Number 1, IBM, Deloitte, Accenture. Anybody finding something weird about this? Epsilon. Wonder Woman, there it is, finally. Out of the top 5 biggest agency networks by revenue in the United States, only one is what you would call a traditional Madison Avenue agency. The other 4 are consulting companies, technology companies that all now have agency arms. That means that these are the companies that are now competing for clients. These are the companies that are competing against you for talent. And what they can offer that perhaps that agencies can't is usually scale. I chatted with somebody at Deloitte the other day, the gentleman who leads their whole agency practice. And his argument was, listen, if somebody tells me that they can put 10 project managers on a project, I say, oh, well, I can put 300. If somebody tells me they can put 300, well, I can put 1,000. These guys have seemingly unlimited resources and the sort of huge arm behind them of HR specialists, health specialists, supply chain logistics specialists that they can throw at their clients and say, why don't you come to us for all these needs? And hey, maybe we'll do a little bit of agency work for you too. So there's a lot of competition out there. And I'd love to talk to you guys a little bit about, over the next 2.5 days, about how much you're really running up against these new companies in your day-to-day business. And actually, with a show of hands, who has had what I would call, I guess, a competitive run-in with these consulting companies that also have agencies, say in the last 2 years? Okay, not that many of you. So that's going to be something we're definitely going to talk about, because if they're not running in with you guys, I wonder who they're running up against. My talent troubles, obviously that is one of the biggest issues. The 4As sort of thinks of this as such a big issue that they now have 2 conferences devoted to this. It was a big topic pretty much at every single industry conference I've been to, that I'm sure you guys have been to, and I'm sure you guys are talking about. Brian Wiener is here from 360i, and I'm going to be chatting with him as sort of a state of the industry conversation later, just about 10 or 15 minutes. And I know talent is going to be one of the things that he feels very strongly about developing, so I'm going to be talking to him about that. That's going to be an ongoing topic. And later today, we have a panel of agency millennials that are going to be sort of a live version of our Ask a Millennial series that we run on Digiday to kind of answer your questions about what it's like being a young person inside an agency. So we're really looking forward to that. And that's a new stat, the average stat that sort of I find really sort of scary, but also a lot of people look at this number, and this is, again, a 4A's number from a survey that they did. And a lot of people look at it and they say, oh, no, mine is way lower than that. Some people I know that have looked at it say it's way higher than that. So I'm curious to find out where you guys think we are when it comes to turnover. Creative media, can they work together? That's going to be one of those things we were talking about, too, over the next 2.5 days as agencies try to bring teams together. In some cases, they're even doing it by bringing entire companies together. So we're going to talk with the gentleman over at MRY tomorrow about how they did that. So that's going to be a big theme tomorrow. Transparency and trust. Bill Duggan is here from the ANA to talk about that tomorrow. We're also going to have a lot of topics about programmatic, transparency, rebates, margins, where exactly all that money is going, and why sometimes it feels like clients might not trust their agency partners as much as they used to, and what you guys can do to try and fix that. And last but not least, somebody once said to me that their client came up to them and said, I feel like my digital ad buy is just not worth what it used to be worth. It's sort of like it keeps plummeting, keeps going down, and then on top of it, it's being blocked anyway. So what does it really mean to be creative when everything is digital? I once, a few months ago, we had David Droga on our podcast, and he was talking about, and he's obviously a really creative guy, right? And so I was talking to him like, okay, so you think people can still be creative when it comes to, pop-up ads and banner ads? And he was like, yeah, no, of course they can. He said it in an Australian accent. Obviously, I'm going to dig at that. But he's like, okay, of course they can be really, really creative. It's totally possible to be really creative. And so I said to him, when was the last time you saw a really creative banner ad? Hey, I stumped David Droga. I guess miracles do happen. So those are the 5 things that, that sort of I'm seeing as the biggest trends. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to try and hear from you guys to, again, keep setting the tone of the discussion going forward. So behind you on these tall tables, there are these little sticky pads. They look like sticky notes, but they're actually magnets. So I just want the agencies in the room, the tech providers in the room, to write down your biggest challenge. Keep it anonymous. Don't give me your name. Just write down what you're finding the biggest challenge in your agency today, what it actually is. And then you're going to stick it on these boards. So if you're an agency, put it on the left side. If you're a tech provider, put it on the right side. And then we're going to go back and keep going back to this board over the next 2.5 days and see how things are evolving. So I'll give you guys some time to do that. So grab a sticky note and get ready. Yeah, go for it. I am Shareen. Nice to meet you. We're going to catch up.
Downtown Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago,
Those notes are not sticky.
Chicago, 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 way, Chicago, 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 way. Chicago, 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 way. Chicago, 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 way. Chicago, 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 way. Chicago, 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 way. Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, Chicago. Downtown Chicago, baby, downtown Chicago, baby, downtown
everybody get a chance to get a challenge down? Any stragglers? Anybody have too many so they can't figure one out? The only one that I can see, because my eyesight is so terrible, is one that just says too many. Just too many. Whoever wrote that is just like head in the head. Oh, okay. You're okay? Doing all right? Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for doing that. We're going to keep revisiting that, as I said, over the next 2.5 days. We're going to sort of see that evolve. And a lot of our speakers, you know, they tend to sort of go and look at those boards to sort of give them some sort of inspiration on what they should be talking about. Because at the end of the day, sort of this is a two-way street. As Nick said, you know, we really want to keep the participation level of the summit really high. So our next speaker, Brian Weiner, is the chairman of 360i. He's a veteran of the business, and he's going to be talking about a look inside the industry. So this is a macro chat between Brian and I just about what he's seeing is what's going on in the business today. So come on up, Brian.